Hello, my name is Rosie and I'm a speech and language therapist at Evelina London Children and Young People's Community Speech and Language Therapy. Today I'm going to be talking about how you can consolidate learning using mind maps, and I'll also share a tip of the week. Today's session is aimed at children who are in Key Stage 3, and there may be other sessions for other age groups, so please keep checking this Facebook page and have a look at the videos that we already have available. For today's activity, with the mind map, I've created mine just using paper and coloured pens, so you can do the same, or you could also use a whiteboard, whatever you have available. I'm also going to be using a visual schedule for today's session, so we've got hello, our tip of the week, our activity, which is a mind map, and then our goodbye. So I've already said our hello, so I can tick this off. And now I'll move on to our tip of the week. So today's tip of the week is thinking about how it can be really helpful to do revision little and often. So by doing little and often bits of revision, this can really help to not feel really overwhelmed for an exam or a test, and it means that your child isn't going to be cramming last minute revision for an exam. And by doing little and often, it also helps with your child's memory, as they will gradually over time be building up their knowledge for an exam or a test. And also by starting to use some different revision strategies. So it might be using mind maps or flashcards. For exams in school, it means that when your child is getting towards that GCSE age for their exams, they will already have tried out some different revision techniques, and hopefully they might have found that one technique works better for them. So yeah, that's our tip of the week, is just thinking about starting to do revision little and often for tests and exams in school to help prepare them for those bigger exams later on. So that is our tip of the week completed, so I will tick it off. And now we will go on to our activity for today's video. So today's activity is creating a mind map. I have done mine just on one piece of paper, and I've used lots of coloured pens. And now using mind maps can really help your child with learning different subjects in school, different topics, and is a really great revision strategy. So like I mentioned earlier, this can be really great to start doing just for smaller tests, or just to really help with their learning and their memory of different topics. And a mind map just really helps to pinpoint the main facts and points relating to a topic. They're also really great for visual learners, so you can see the main ideas and points, maybe how they might link together, which again in turn really helps with memory. I think it's also really great to make them as colourful as possible, so I have chosen to use one colour per different area on my mind map, and I think that can be really helpful as well. Depending on what the topic or subject is, it might also be useful to add pictures or diagrams to really help as well with your child's learning. I haven't done it for this one, but you could, for example, have pictures of different characters, or if it's science, you might need diagrams to help explain different points. So for today's mind map, I have chosen to do it about an English book. This is just a very kind of generic mind map. And these are just some ideas of what you could include, so you can take these or add your own and adapt them. So you could put the name of an English book in the middle. So yeah, I've chosen 5 main areas to put on my mind map. So in red here we have the plot of the story. So I've just bullet pointed beginning, middle and end. So you might want to just write some main points about what happens in the beginning of the story, in the middle, and how the story ends. And that's just quite a nice overview for the whole book. Then I thought maybe about what some of the main themes might be in the book. I've just kind of labelled 1 to 3. You could have a lot more than this if there's loads of themes, but just to kind of help to pick out those main points in the story. Then moving on to thinking about the characters in the book. So you could have bullet points for the characters' names. This is where you could also find pictures of the characters, or your child could draw what they think the characters might look like. And then I've also just added, it might be also good to add maybe if there are some main relationships between characters in the story, what their different personalities are, and any main descriptions of the characters that might be useful to know. Then moving on to this area, I thought about including some important quotes from the book. So I've just got a list of 5 here, but if there's anything that you think might be really helpful or useful if you've got to write an essay, any kind of quotes that you think would be really important to add there. And then the last area, I have just written useful page numbers. So this can be quite a good idea to just jot down, if there's like a plot twist in the story, to note down when that happens, anything that is really important to do with the character, or anything to do with the main themes, just to have a note of the page numbers so that you can then go back into the book, you know where it is. So yeah, this is just a kind of template for a mind map. Now, once you have kind of completed your mind map, you might find that there's loads of information, or you might have just got sort of the basic information down, but it's really great just to see all on one page everything that you think is really important relating to the topic or the book or whatever it is. Another useful kind of revision strategy is if you have a load of information on your first mind map, what can be really great is to kind of create a second mind map, and see if you can then, from your original mind map, pick out the most important points and add that onto a new one. And this can also be quite good if you can, could kind of help your child's memory to see if they can create another mind map without looking at their first one. And that is really helping to consolidate their memory, and that's great for revision. But yeah, that's kind of our activity for today. So have a go at creating your own mind map for different subjects, different topics in school. And yeah, this is just an example one that you can take this and use it, or use your own one. So that is our activity of mind maps completed. So I'll tick that off. And now we will move on to our goodbye. So I hope you have enjoyed today's session. If you have any questions or queries, please have a look at the information on our website, as you might find that your questions are answered there, especially in the advice and support section. Our website address is www.evelina.nhs.uk/community speech and language, and can also be found on this Facebook page. If you can't find an answer to your question, you can email us and someone will get back to you, and our email address is gst line-tr.contactslt@nhs.net. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be posting another video next week, and you can rewatch this video at any time. Goodbye. I will now tick off our goodbye.